Okay, so just picture your phone for a second. Your camera roll.
Hmm. Packed, right.
Exactly. Full
Hmm.
of all those personal, unshared photos,
Yeah.
that hilarious family vacation shot, maybe a quirky selfie you never actually sent, or just loads of
Stuff
screenshots.
you've kept private.
Right.
Hmm.
Now, what if an AI could, like, not only see all that?
But start suggesting things,
Yeah.
edits, creations.
Yeah, precisely, before you've even thought about posting them anywhere. It's interesting.
Fascinating, and maybe, yeah, a little unsettling too.
That's exactly what we're diving into today, this whole new development from Meta AI on Facebook.
Right.
We're going to unpack this new feature where they ask for access to your camera roll for what they're calling cloud processing.
And the kicker is, this is for photos you haven't even uploaded to Facebook itself.
Exactly.
So our mission today really is to get past just the surface level of this. We want to explore what Facebook is really asking for here. What are you potentially agreeing to if you opt in?
And what does it all mean? For your personal stuff, your photos, your privacy, especially with AI moving so fast.
We'll look at the benefits they talk about, sure, but also really dig into the fine print, the terms.
And what Meta's officially saying.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you use social media, or even if you just keep photos on your phone, which is pretty much everyone, right?
Right.
This deep dive should give you some, crucial insights into how AI is getting closer and closer to our private data.
And maybe help figure out what questions we should all be asking.
Okay, let's peel back the layers on this.
Let's do it.
So first up, that initial ask. You know how it actually looks to the user?
Right, the pop-up.
Yeah. You're making a new Facebook story, and bam, this thing appears.
And it asks you to opt into cloud processing.
For creative suggestions, that's the hook.
That's helpful on the surface.
Totally. The promise is you tap allow, and Facebook will start generating ideas like, cool collages, maybe video recaps.
AI restyling, turning your photo into art or something?
Yeah, or grouping photos by themes, all pulled from your camera roll.
And how it works, technically.
Yeah.
It uploads your media, your photos and videos, from your phone's camera roll straight to Meta's cloud.
They're servers, basically.
Exactly. And importantly, it says on an ongoing basis.
So not just once, it keeps doing it.
That's what ongoing basis implies, yes. It uses info like time, location, maybe themes it detects in the photos to decide what to upload.
Okay, but the pop-up does try to reassure you. Right?
It does. It explicitly says only you can see the suggestions.
Uh-huh.
And crucially, that the media isn't used for ad targeting.
Which sounds okay, I guess. Only you see it, not for ads. But, and there's always a but.
Always. Here's where it gets, well, interesting. Or maybe concerning, depending on your view.
Just clicking allow isn't just about those suggestions.
No. You're also agreeing to Meta's main AI terms of service.
Okay. So that agreement, what does that let them do beyond just the creative stuff?
Well, this is pretty key. That agreement allows your media, including your facial features, to be analyzed by their AI.
Facial features. Wow, okay.
Yeah, and they state they use the date, presence of people, objects, that sort of thing in your photos to make the suggestions.
But the wider AI terms, the ones from June 23rd, 2024, they go further.
They do. They state, and this is pretty much a direct quote, once shared, you agree that Meta will analyze those images, including facial features, using AI.
Okay. And why? What for?
They say it enables features like summarizing what's in an image, modifying it, or generating completely new content based on it.
And there was something about retaining data, too.
Yes. The same AI terms give Meta's AI the right to retain and use personal information you've shared.
To personalize its AI outputs for you.
Correct. And that phrase, retain and use, that's quite powerful language in terms of service.
It really is. And didn't I read something about humans potentially reviewing things?
You did. Meta notes it can review your interactions with its AI, conversations, presumably prompts, and these reviews might be done by humans.
Wow. Okay, so AI analysis, facial features, retaining and using data, possible human review. That's a lot.
It is. And there's a layer of, let's say, fuzziness, too.
How so?
The terms don't clearly define what counts as personal information beyond things like prompts, feedback, or other content.
Right. So the big question is, do those photos uploaded via cloud processing count? can they be retained and used under that clause?
That's the ambiguity. It's not spelled out.
Yeah.
And, legally, that vagueness often works in the company's favor, giving them flexibility down the line.
It really puts the burden on the user to figure out the implications, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's a pattern we see a lot with these complex terms.
So given all this, you'd expect maybe a huge backlash, people noticing this.
You might think so, but honestly, it seems like there hasn't been widespread outrage. More like a slow trickle of discovery.
Just a few users stumbling across it.
Yeah, exactly. People creating a story, seeing these AI suggestions pop up, and thinking, where did that come from?
Like that example someone shared online.
Right, the Reddit user. They found Facebook had taken an old photo, one they had shared previously, mind you, and just automatically turned it into an anime-style image using Meta AI.
Slight chuckle. Okay, that would be a surprise. Seeing your old holiday pics suddenly looking like, well, anime.
Definitely a double-take moment.
So when people did start noticing and asking questions, maybe in those anti-AI groups you mentioned, how did they figure out how to switch it off? Was it obvious?
Not really, no. It seems they had to do some digging.
Where is it hidden?
It's under Facebook settings, then you go into preferences, and then there's an option called camera roll sharing suggestions.
Okay, tucked away a bit.
Seems so. And on that page, there are two toggles.
Two. What's the difference?
The first one is about Facebook just suggesting photos from your camera roll when you're browsing the app, like, hey, maybe share this.
Right.
The second toggle is the one for this specific cloud processing AI feature, the image creation thing. That's the one that should be linked to the opt-in pop-up.
But the fact that people had to hunt for it, it does raise questions about how clear that initial Elia really is, doesn't it?
It does. It suggests maybe not everyone fully grasps what they're enabling.
And just to be clear, this idea of Facebook accessing the camera roll, it isn't totally brand new, is it?
Doesn't seem like it. There were posts earlier, maybe last year or early this year, showing similar pop-ups in the stories section. People were confused then, too.
And Meta has actual help pages about it.
Yep, full documentation for both iOS and Android. So it's been around in some form, maybe just rolling out more widely or being noticed more now.
Oh, okay. And this feels different from the other big AI training news from Meta, right? The stuff about using public posts.
Absolutely crucial distinction. That was about training their AI on data people had already shared publicly post comments on Facebook, Instagram.
Uh-huh. And EU users had a chance to opt out of that specific training.
Right, until May 2025, I think.
Okay.
But this feature, this potentially goes into your private camera roll, photos you deliberately kept off the platform.
That feels like a significant step further.
It is.
So what's the official line from Meta on this current test?
Well, TechCrunch got a statement from a spokesperson, Maria Cubeda. She confirmed it's a test.
Okay.
Her quote was something like, "We're exploring ways to make content sharing easier by testing suggestions of ready-to-share and curated content from a person's camera roll."
Making it easier, and she stressed the opt-in part.
Yes, definitely highlighted.
Yeah.
Opt-in only shown to you unless you share it, and can be turned off at any time.
Standard reassurances, but was
Yeah.
there anything else? Any nuance?
There was one really specific bit. She said, camera roll media may be used to improve these suggestions,
Okay, makes sense.
but are not used to improve AI models in this test.
Hold on. In this test. That phrasing is doing a lot of work there, isn't it?
It certainly stands out. It sounds like for this specific test, they aren't using it for broader AI model training.
But it leaves the door wide open for that possibility later, if it's no longer a test.
That's exactly the interpretation many would take. It
Mhm.
gives them wiggle room for the future without committing right now.
And for now, this test is just US and Canada.
That's what they've said, yes. Currently testing there.
So that specific phrasing, the potential future use, it feeds into that idea of a slippery slope, like the TechCrunch article mentioned.
Precisely. It feels like another small step down a path where we share more and more personal media with AI systems, sometimes without fully realizing the long-term implications.
And you can see why, from Meta's perspective, maybe this AI race is intense.
It's incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
Every company wants an edge.
And for us, the users, it's hard to keep track of what exactly we're agreeing to with every new feature that pops up, promising convenience.
Absolutely. And think about the advantage this could give Meta. Accessing photos people haven't shared publicly.
Yeah. What's the significance there?
Well, think about it. Public posts are often curated, right? Filtered, what you show the world.
Sure. Your best self or a certain image.
Exactly. But your camera roll, that's raw, unfiltered. It's your actual life, your habits, things you glanced at, fleeting interests, unedited moments.
Yeah. A much more authentic picture.
An incredibly authentic stream of data. Imagine the insights an AI could derive from that level of realness compared to just public posts. It's potentially a huge advantage in understanding users and improving AI in ways competitors relying only on public data might struggle to match.
Wow, okay. That puts a different spin on it. It's not just more data, it's different, potentially much richer data.
Potentially, yes.
So, wrapping this up then, what's the big takeaway here? We've got this feature, looks convenient, AI suggestions, sounds cool.
Right? Makes sharing maybe a bit easier, sparks creativity.
But underneath, it opens up this whole complex discussion. Data access, what consent really means, privacy policies that are hard to parse.
And it really highlights that balancing act we're all constantly trying to do, isn't it? We want the cool new AI tools,
Yeah.
but we also need to understand what we're trading for them, especially when it's accessing something as personal as your unshared camera roll.
It just shows how deeply AI is getting woven into our digital lives, sometimes in ways we don't even notice at first.
Definitely. And it leaves us with a pretty big question, I think, for you listening.
Yeah.
In this world where the terms of service are practically novels and AI is evolving so incredibly fast, how do we actually stay informed? How do we stay in control of our digital privacy?
Especially for the stuff we've consciously decided not to share publicly.
Exactly. And maybe what responsibility do these huge tech companies have to make these agreements genuinely transparent, not just legally sound, but actually understandable for everyone?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Food for thought.